Alright, time for some more news on Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful. So far it's doing really well in the box office since its release. It's held #1, I think, for about a week now. But also, you know, there's a lot of talks. They're actually thinking about doing a sequel, which I think is in the works, and all the original cast is coming back. Don't expect to see a Dorothy anytime soon. Like, she's not now.
Which I'm kind of glad that they're not going to throw in the Dorothy character, because I am such a big fan of the original movie. I don't think that they can actually outdo the original movie if they were to bring in a Dorothy. And I think if they were to bring in a Dorothy and not even try to do the original, then it's not going to work. People love the original movie. It's an all-time classic. But we'll have to see. Hopefully this prequel will go more into maybe the witches, or I don't know, maybe Oz, him running Emerald City. I mean,
how it all led up to him in the original Wizard of Oz, like how he ended up being in that position, even though we saw how in this film, you know, he pretty much does his biggest trick yet and pretends to die, and then he puts on a big act, which actually pays off in the long run. But
yeah, maybe they'll do a love story between him and Glinda the Good Witch. I mean, you kind of seen that towards the end of the movie, so we'll just have to stay tuned and see.
We actually have more information. Sam Raimi, he was the original person who did the Army of Darkness sequel, which is the sequel to Evil Dead. It's actually being compared to Oz because apparently there's a lot of things similar to it. I mean, it's kind of funny, but here's the 7 top reasons why Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful is being compared to his Army of Darkness. Reason number 1, the protagonists, Ash from Evil Dead and Oscar from Oz the Great and Powerful. They're both people who are just wanting to find something, and they get stuck in a situation they don't want to be in, especially in Army of Darkness, which I think I know more about. Summer, I don't think you've ever seen it, actually.
No, because I don't like the Evil Dead. 2, setup. Both are chosen
in different ways. You know, Ash in Army of Darkness, he's pretty much chosen as the main man to save this like kingdom from an army of Deadites that's being led by a copy of him.
And of course that's how Oz is. Whenever he gets to Emerald City, people just assume that he's a wizard that's supposed to save them all. So they both get put in situations that they weren't expecting.
And the third thing, the mission. You know, his mission in Oz the Great and Powerful
was to save Emerald City from the
but I think his main motivation with that was he was promised gold.
Yes.
So that's definitely one thing. And in Army of Darkness, Ash was promised that he would be able to be sent home if he helped them. So, I mean, it's kind of funny, but I mean, I think this was really more set up in a way to where I don't think he was anticipating that. But anyways.
Okay, the next one, the love interest turned into a hideous monster. Yes. If you actually seen Oz, then you'll know that whenever Oz first came to the land, you know, to Emerald City, Theodora the Good Witch kind of fell in love with him. She assumed that they were going to get married. She was going to be his queen. And then when that turned around, she wanted to be evil.
When her sister Evanora gave her that wicked apple,
then she kind of turned around. She turned into the bad witch, and she turned green and hideous and ugly.
Who we know as the Wicked Witch of the West.
Now we know that.
And Army of Darkness, Ash's love interest, Sheila, who is actually part of the kingdom, this different world he's never been in, you know, she is turned into a Deadite too, you know. Next up, the evil armies. Now, of course, in Army of Darkness, it's the Deadites. Dead Army. I mean, it's just a whole follow-up, I mean, you can tell. And in Wizard of Oz, Oz the Great and Powerful.
They have, you know, the monkeys come back. They're not as good as the original ones, but they're still there.
And the Winky Army.
Yep.
Which, if you didn't notice, Bruce Campbell, who originally plays Ash in the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, was a Winky soldier.
The next one is the climactic battles.
Now, of course, in Oz, the big fight with the witches and kind of just putting on a big show, and how they use the scarecrows to, you know, just throw off the baboons and trick them into that little area where they get a pollen or something. So, I mean, that's really interesting. And then in Army of Darkness, you have Ash defending the castle, and the last thing that actually makes these films so similar are the Wicked Witches themselves, the original ones. Army of Darkness isn't as really close, but just the characters alike look. Like, you know, when Glenda ripped off Evanora's, like, jewel.
Necklace, yeah.
And that made her turn back into the hideous witch that she was.
Yeah.
And I mean, she looks like the little wicked she-witch that happened to be in the end of Army of Darkness. I mean, I think it really wasn't planned out, to be honest with you. I think it just happened by coincidence.
Yeah, I think that people just read more into both movies and kind of found their own way into how they're both similar.
Alright, when we come back, we have some news about Star Wars and what a lot of people are saying who they thought should have been the director of the film.